Nearly 1 year after historic flooding, we're talking to people who are affected by it. We'll have that story coming up. And humidity levels are rising on Saturday. And the sunshine is here, but maybe not for long. Chris is tracking a string of storm chances. Plus, new numbers show just how bad business is right now for Wisconsin farmers, what President Trump says he's doing to help them, and the price you pay for their products.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for starting your day with us here on News 3 Now. It's Saturday, July 27th. I'm Keely Arthur, in with meteorologist Chris Reese. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Keely.
Both wearing blue because we're seeing very beautiful blue skies out right now.
That's right. Some sunshine this morning. We will hold on to that. There's a small chance for some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Most of the day is going to be a nice one for us. Let's go ahead and get you guys out the door right now. Maybe you're headed out. Plenty of sunshine out there. Temperatures are into the mid-70s already at 75 degrees. Those winds coming out of the southwest at 8 miles per hour. It's a strong southwest wind that's going to stay with us pretty much all day long. So look for those temperatures to be on the warmer side of things as we get towards the afternoon and evening. 75 in Madison right now, of course. Mineral Point, Monroe, and Janesville all at 73. The Dells at 73, Lone Rock at 75. It's the mid-70s pretty much no matter where you are throughout southern Wisconsin. High-resolution Doppler free of any showers and thunderstorms over Wisconsin right now. We're going to be paying attention to the northwestern sky later on this afternoon, though. That's where some showers and storms could develop and head our direction. We do have a marginal risk for some of those to be on the strong to severe side. That means a few of you may get a severe storm. A lot of us won't. We'll be watching that as we go throughout the day. Plan the day with ease, though. We'll see sunshine through most of the morning and afternoon. That chance for showers and thunderstorms, Keely, will not arrive until probably about 4 o'clock or so and then beyond. But it's going to be very warm at that time of the day.
And still, like you said, plenty of time in the day to do lots of things outdoors.
Don't cancel any outdoor plans. If it does rain, it's going to be one of those things where it rains, it gets windy for a couple of minutes, and then just like that, it'll be gone.
Nothing people in Wisconsin can't handle.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks so much,
My
Chris.
pleasure.
Well, into the Channel 3000 Alert Center overnight, at least 8 people are dead after multiple strong earthquakes hit the Philippines today. Dozens more are injured, and there's substantial damage to the northern Philippines province where the quakes happened a couple of hours apart. The region's mayor said around 60 people were hurt. Right now, wounded people are still being brought in to area doctors. The Philippine seismologist says the earthquakes measured 5.4 and 5.9. The Philippines are part of what's called the Pacific Ring of Fire, which has one of the world's most active fault lines. And police in South Carolina are still searching for the person who shot and killed 2 people at a bingo hall in Forest Brook overnight. It happened around 9:30 in the town near Myrtle Beach. Police are not yet releasing the names of the 2 men killed. The case is now being investigated as an attempted robbery and shooting. Back in Wisconsin and new this morning, we're learning just how bad business is for the state's dairy farmers. New numbers show an average of 3 farms go out of business every day. Senator Ron Johnson says the state's dairy farmers are stuck in the trenches. He's hoping a new trade policy can help lift them out. He says lowering barriers to sell to other countries will help farmers and manufacturers, and that everyone would get a boost from ending uncertainty caused by the trade wars.
They're in a tough position right now. Prices had already been depressed, and the tariffs and the retaliation has just made it that much worse.
The Trump administration's proposed USMCA agreement, a new trade deal with Mexico and Canada, would require 75% of cars to be made in North America to avoid tariffs. Not everyone is in support of this plan, though, including Democratic Representative Ron Kind, who says his problems with it include enforceability of labor and environmental standards and lifting the tariffs on Mexico and Canada that continue to hurt Wisconsin workers, farmers, and businesses. Nearly 25,000 people in Wisconsin could be cut from the food share program. A proposed change to the federal food stamp rules would affect more than 3 billion people nationwide. That changes means to limit share food share assistance and eligibility requirements. We talked with one woman who told us this could impact her family, who relies on the program to make ends meet.
So you have to spend all your cash on food and pay your rent and bills. There's nothing left over. You can't buy you anything. You can't save anything.
The proposed changes have not yet been approved, and there is a public comment period happening from now through September. Tampons and pads would be offered free in bathrooms at all schools and government buildings in Wisconsin under a new proposal at the state capitol. The bill's author says access to menstrual products shouldn't be any different from other products you'd find in bathrooms like toilet paper and soap. Similar proposals have been introduced before but failed to get the Republican support needed to pass. A tampon drive in Dane County this week collected more than 100,000 products. Authorities in Missouri are now classifying the case of two Wisconsin brothers who went missing last weekend as a death investigation. Police say they do have a suspect in the case, but they are not identifying who that is. Another man is also being charged with tampering with the brothers' rental vehicle. Court documents say that man, 25-year-old Garland Nelson, moved it from a residence to the commuter lot where it was discovered. The search for the brothers, 35-year-old Nicholas and 24-year-old Justin Dimel, is still ongoing.
At this time, we're still actively working. It's very methodical, very detailed searching. As you guys have seen today, been out here. We have had dogs and other things like that working out here. We're continuing to update you guys on the situation.
Thursday night in Navarino, Wisconsin, in Schwano County, the community came together to show their support for the brothers and their family. A prayer service was held as dozens of people came out for a candlelight vigil. Happening today through August 4th, some 100,000 people are expected to attend the annual Sunflower Days at the Pope Farm Conservancy in Middleton. More than 500,000 sunflowers will be in bloom in the 9-acre field. Due to large crowds and safety concerns, the event was canceled last year. Now the town of Middleton has taken over and hired an outside company to help things run smoothly. We have ticket and shuttle information up on our website, channel3000.com. Peak bloom for the sunflowers is expected tomorrow. And over on Monroe Street, business owners are hoping some hot deals will entice you to stop by their annual summer sidewalk sale. The sale was canceled last year during the multi-million-dollar construction project. This year, the event is back, and business owners hope it'll remind shoppers of everything Monroe Street has to offer. The sales run from 10 until 6 o'clock. For a full list of participating restaurants and shops, head to our website and search Monroe Street. Well, Miller Park is the place to be this weekend as the Brewers and Cubs renew their I-94 rivalry. And after last night, the Crew is only one game behind the Cubs for the wild card, with less than 60 games left in the regular season. Our sports director, Jay Wilson, described Friday night's play as a heck of a game, and we couldn't have said it better ourselves. The Cubs were leading 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th, but Ben Gamble came back with a big hit, a single scoring 2 runs to give the Brewers the lead. Josh Hader closed it out. Final score, Brewers 3, Cubs 2. First pitch of the game in the series is tonight at 6:10. A group of some of the best young baseball players in the area are getting the chance to play on the national stage this weekend. The West Madison Senior League is playing in the Senior League World Series after beating Ohio in the Central Region Championship earlier this week. The Senior League is a couple steps up from the Little League. The team is made up of 15 and 16-year-olds from Madison. The Senior League World Series starts today in South Carolina. A former Badger is trading in his red and white for some green and gold. The Green Bay Packers announced they've added defensive lineman Olive Segapulu. Segapulu is 6'2", 331 pounds, and will get a chance to be a run stopper on the Packers' defensive line. Segapulu wore 99 last year with the Badgers. The Packers gave him uniform number 67, and they stuck him in the small locker away from the spacious main locker room.
I'm just taking it little by little. In this little locker room, but every guy has to start somewhere. So, for me, it's just kind of going out and having fun and just learning everything, trying to understand what the coaches are trying to preach to us. Every rep that I get whether it's 1 or 6, I mean, try to make sure that every rep is a meaningful rep. Just showcase that I can play and I'm ready to play. So if my number is called, I'm ready to showcase what I can do.
Good for him. And if you'd like to see the Packers in person, head north to training camp this weekend. Both today and tomorrow, they start at 10:15 a.m. New this season, a pair of joint practices with former Badger J.J. Watt and the Houston Texans on August 5th and 6th, ahead of their preseason game against each other on the 8th. The last public practice of camp will be August 19th, and then the Packers' first regular season game is a little more than a month away on September 5th against the Chicago Bears. Well, it is 8:09 and certainly not feeling like football weather just yet. You're taking a live look over the Capitol where vendors are getting ready for hopefully a very busy day at the market. Chris has your full farmers market forecast just ahead.
Well, happy Saturday, folks. The sun is shining right now. Lots of light blue in the sky, of course, a yellow sun, too. It's going to be a very warm and humid day, though. The humidity can certainly be felt, and those warm temperatures are rocking and rolling already this morning. 75 degrees. Those winds out of the south and west at 8 miles per hour mean it's only going to get warmer as we go throughout the day. And yes, the humidity is going to be on the increase. Let's take a look at temperatures across southern Wisconsin right now. Most of us are starting out into the low and some mid 70s showing up as well. Take a look at the lakeshore right now. That's where temperatures are already as warm as 76 degrees in some spots this morning. You factor in the dew points. Yes, it is very humid out there. A lot of those dew points are into the upper 60s. Some dew points already into the low 70s. So it's going to be uncomfortably humid as we go throughout the day, and that's going to get worse with the sunshine going through the rest of the afternoon and evening. No showers or thunderstorms out there at the moment. I do suspect that will change later on. We're going to watch the northwestern sky. That's where a line of showers and thunderstorms will try to develop and then work its way our direction. It will not be a strong line of showers and thunderstorms. A lot of it's going to be broken up in nature. But once it starts to work its way towards southern Wisconsin, some of those could be on the strong to severe side. So that's going to be something we pay attention to, friends, as we go into the afternoon and evening. That's all with this cold front to our north and west that's gradually pushing our direction, but it's keeping things unsettled in the process. So we'll have that weak shower and thunderstorm chance today, and then a more widespread shower and thunderstorm chance as we go through Sunday and then into Monday. I think that's the focus of my own personal forecast for the time period to watch for the showers and thunderstorms. High pressure moves in on after that, though, so we'll start off early next week with plenty of sunshine and comfortable temperatures as well. Let's go ahead and get you through today. Here we are at lunchtime. We'll see those temperatures right around 83, and then boom, just like that, towards 4 o'clock, we'll see those showers and thunderstorms towards the north and west. Those will move their way towards the south and east. Again, some of those could be strong. Not everyone gets in on that shower and thunderstorm action, though. Once that moves on towards our south and east, we'll see a quiet night. Southerly winds will wake us up on Sunday as well. And then Sunday night into Monday, here comes that line of showers and thunderstorms that'll move on through here. We'll be watching that period very closely for some active weather. I don't think it'll be severe, but just wet for a time. Then we dry out with low humidity and sunshine for most of the upcoming week.
Well, it is certainly looking like kind of a classic July week ahead.
Yeah, it's the perfect way to round out and head into August, Keely.
All right, thanks, Chris.
My pleasure.
Well, us Wisconsinites know how important it is to winterize our vehicles, but we often forget to take care of them in the heat. Earlier this week, we sat down with Jim Ward, service manager at Smart Motors, who shared some advice. We are joined by Jim Ward. He is of Smart Motors Madison to talk all things summer heat and cars. Jim, what are some things motorists need to know as they head into the hot summer months?
Well, it's the old important motto, be prepared. You know, there's nothing like some advanced planning. Before you would take a trip, vehicles, whether you take a trip or not, should be inspected about every 6 months, so about twice a year. You know, if you don't do your own maintenance, if you're not mechanically inclined, you want to take it to a shop. Besides having the routine oil change, whatever fluid services, tire rotations, every shop's going to do what's called a multi-point inspection. And they're looking over all of the belts, the hoses, the fluids, the tires, checking to make sure that your air conditioning system's going to work right, that the cooling system's going to keep the engine cool. It's a you know, end-to-end inspection to make sure that the car is safe and ready.
Right, I feel like we all kind of make sure our cars are prepped for the winter months, but
Definitely.
What can happen if you don't prep your cars for the hotter months?
Well, a lot of the same kind of things. Actually, battery life is shorter in hot climates. Hot weather is kind of harder on batteries. The problem in the winter is a battery loses its charge and it's going to freeze and be ruined. In the summer, you leave your lights on, the battery discharges, it can still be charged back up as long as it didn't freeze. But in fact, the hot weather is harder on batteries, and so a 5-6-year-old battery that's near the end of its life is more likely to fail really in the hot weather, in the really hot weather, than in the cold. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but that is how that works out. Cooling systems and air conditioning systems both really push the working systems in the car to their extreme limits, and so making sure that they're working right, that everything is that the fluids are topped off, that the refrigerant's in there, that the cooling fan for the radiator and for the air conditioner's condenser are working, are all important things to make sure those systems are going to work well for you. Tires are really critically important. We think of tires, of course, just like winter. We think of tread depth for traction in the snow, but in fact, the legal wear limit of tires is 2/32 of an inch. So at 5/32, we think, well, we've got pretty good tread left. They start out at like 9 or 10 on a car, so that's like half your tread. But in fact, on a wet road at 60 miles an hour, it takes about 9-10 more car lengths to stop a car at 60 miles an hour with 5/32 than new tires. So not to say that you can't drive with those tires, but if you're driving on, you know, a highway and it's raining and it's wet, you want to keep those following and stopping distances in mind if you've got kind of worn tires. So.
All right. Well, all great advice. Thank you so much. Great tips, especially as we kind of head into the summer months and maybe go on some long road trips.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Make sure you have
Jim.
fun, but be safe.
All right. Good advice. It's 8:18. A big birthday for a comedic legend means I Love Lucy is headed to the theaters. And we're getting a first look at the documentary highlighting the scary side of social media. Plus, there are several shows and movies you should find time for this weekend. Will's in next with 3 things to watch. That's just ahead in trending news next on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. Welcome back. Topping this morning's entertainment headlines, the first trailer for Harriet is out. The biopic chronicles Harriet Tubman and shows the abolitionist's journey north towards freedom. Black Nativity is scheduled to arrive in theaters November 1st. And Lucille Ball would have turned 108 next week, and to celebrate, you can head to theaters. I Love Lucy, a colorized celebration, hits theaters for one night only on August 6th. Fans nationwide will be able to see 5 classic episodes and never-before-seen material from the comedic legend. And for even more viewing pleasure, our Will Loper has some great picks for us to watch right now. Here's this weekend's 3 things to watch.
When I found you, your very human brain was miraculously intact.
New on home video this week is Alita Battle Angel.
It's the loneliest feeling not to know who you are.
In time, you'll remember.
A cyborg awakens with no memories and must unlock the secrets of her past to discover who she really is and what she is capable of.
She's the last of her kind. She contains technology that have been lost for 300 years. They will come for you.
I'll have to face them head on. I'm gonna need you to stand way back.
Tonight is not a game. It is a hunt.
Alita Battle Angel is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Who has seen an advertisement that has convinced you that your microphone is listening to your conversations?
Newly streaming on Netflix this week is The Great Hack.
The reason why Google and Facebook are the most powerful companies in the world is because last year data surpassed oil in value.
The documentary explores the Cambridge Analytica scandal and how data can be misused and weaponized.
Data is the most valuable asset on Earth. We targeted those whose minds we thought we could change until they saw the world the way we wanted them to.
The Great Hack is available to stream on Netflix now.
This is about the integrity of our democracy.
These platforms which were created to connect us have now been weaponized. It's impossible to know what is what.
Maggie Carpenter is walking down the aisle. Seems very confident in her approach. She's at the first pew. Bride seems to be a bit hesitant. She's turning. She's turning in. Oh, she's running. Where's she going? Lock the door!
Finally, today marks the 20-year anniversary of Runaway Bride.
She likes to dump brooms right at the altar. Plows down the aisle, knocking old ladies out of her way like the running of the bulls in Pamplona.
I'm profoundly and irreversibly screwed up.
Julia Roberts stars as Maggie, a woman who's left a string of fiancés at the altar, and Richard Gere co-stars as a reporter who comes to write a story on her.
You're gonna do the same things to number 4 that you did to the previous 3. And I'm not leaving until you do.
He's an attractive man. The vicious reporter is attractive.
I like his tight butt.
Grandma?
Well, I do.
What do you think?
It works.
Oh.
Runaway Bride is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Unbelievable. She got to you, too.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
There's much more ahead on News 3 Now. Next, we're running through the morning's top stories, including the reason why you might want to take a trip up north this weekend. Plus, if you're heading to the morning's farmers market, a heads up, you might not be able to park in your usual spot. We'll explain the fallout continuing from last week's explosion when News 3 Now this morning returns. Right now, one home at a time. We head to Milwaukee, where hundreds of homes have been revitalized because of a chance encounter between two incredible people.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. It's July 27th. I'm Keely Arthur. We'll get a check on your first alert forecast with Chris in just a second. But first, here are 3 things to know as you start your day. At least 8 people are dead after multiple strong earthquakes hit the Philippines today. Dozens more are injured, and there's substantial damage to the northern Philippines province, where the quakes happened a couple of hours apart. The region's mayor says around 60 people were hurt. The Philippines are part of what's called the Pacific Ring of Fire, which has one of the world's most active fault lines. Back home, we're learning just how bad business is for the state's dairy farmers. New numbers show an average of 3 farms go out of business each day. Senator Ron Johnson says the state's dairy farmers are stuck in the trenches. He's hoping a new trade policy can help lift them out. He says lowering barriers to sell to other countries will help farmers and manufacturers, and that everyone would get a boost from ending uncertainty caused by trade wars. And you can take a trip up north this weekend for a first look at the Matt LaFleur era for the Packers. Training camp, which is open to the public, continues today and tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. It's on the campus of St. Norbert College in De Pere. The last public practice of camp will be August 19th, and then the Packers' first regular season game is a little more than a month away on September 5th against the Chicago Bears. Well, not quite football weather just yet. Here's meteorologist Chris Reese with your Saturday forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Keely. The football weather is approaching, but as you mentioned, it's not here yet. Still a very warm day starting things out. Already at 75 degrees. Those winds out of the south and west at 8 miles per hour, folks. That's going to help to usher in the warmer temperatures as we go throughout the day. Already a lot of folks are very warm. Boscobel at 76. Prairie du Chien at 75 right now. Towards the lakeshore, we see a lot of those places already at 75 or better. Kenosha, Sheboygan, and Manitowoc all at 76 degrees right now. Yes, folks, it is going to be a very warm day. We're going to be watching high-resolution Doppler for some showers and thunderstorms developing. Nothing out there yet, but I suspect right around northern Wisconsin from Green Bay back towards Eau Claire, we'll see some showers and thunderstorms forming later on this afternoon. Those will push towards the south. As they do so, some of those will have the chance to be on the strong to severe side. So that's going to be something that we watch closely into the afternoon and evening. Otherwise, plan your day with ease. Most of the day will be full of sunshine with temperatures topping out into the upper 80s. Keely.
All right, thank you, Chris. A quick heads up for anyone driving to this morning's farmers market. Your usual east side parking spot or the route you take to get there might be closed. The 700 block of East Main Street is now shut down for up to 2 months for cleanup from last Friday's fire at the Blount substation. The American Transmission Company says the closure is needed to give space and equipment for tanks and handling hazardous waste removal. South Livingston and Blount Streets are still open. And a reminder, West Olin Avenue is closed this weekend between South Park Street and Lowell Street so crews can repave that area. It's part of an ongoing road project repair on Park Street between Olin and West Washington Avenue. The stretch of West Olin should be back open by 6 a.m. on Monday. CBS's series, A More Perfect Union, aims to show that what unites us as Americans is far greater than what divides us. This week, it stopped by Milwaukee, where hundreds of homes have been revitalized because of a chance encounter between 2 people. Chip Reed caught up with the couple who set out to end the housing blight and rebuild their neighborhood one home at a time.
Sharon and Larry Adams are bringing life back to their boarded-up neighborhood while giving hope to many who live here.
When I was younger, this neighborhood had a lot of gang banging going on, a lot of drug selling, a lot of destruction over here, and I was part of the destruction. You know, now we got a lot of love going on.
Love that first bloomed here when Sharon moved into her childhood home. It needed work, and Larry, an electrical contractor, came by to take a look. A first meeting that was, well, electric.
And she says, "Do you want some tea?" At the time, I'm drinking maybe a pot of coffee a day, smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, and I'm moving. And I said, yes.
Sharon hired him, but love got in the way.
After I rewired the house, I fired myself because that's a conflict of interest. So
the
I've been
word
working
is,
pro
he
bono
lit
ever
my
since.
life.
Working the past 2 decades with the help of donations to restore more than 100 homes in this stretch of the city blighted by riots.
But it's never happened here in Milwaukee.
And neglect that left their neighborhood classified as undesignated.
2,700 people, households.
Undesignated, which means you're irrelevant
Correct.
to us.
Right.
And we looked at each other and say,
What?
undesignated, what does that mean? Unacceptable.
The unlikely spark for change happened right on their street.
We see lights flickering outside of the house, drug activity.
And what were those lights?
Crack pipes.
Crack pipes.
Yeah.
And is that one of the moments when the two of you decided, we've got to do something about this?
I asked you to fix it.
You asked him to fix it. Did you say please?
I did say.
It's always please. That's all I mean. Look into those eyes. It's always please.
But to grow a community, you have to start with a seed. So they also planted gardens, even orchards.
42 peach trees. So we have orchards, enough orchards.
In Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee, of all places, correct.
You have bees making honey.
Creating a buzz that brought businesses, including the neighborhood's first restaurant, a juice bar, and opportunity for people like Darius Wade and Henry Hopkins.
Did you ever think you'd be a role model?
Back in the days, I wanted to be a different role model. You know, I wanted to be the biggest drug dealer. You know, I want the little kids to look up to me doing that.
Now, Hopkins runs a different kind of crew. A landscaping crew launched by the Adamses to beautify these blocks.
Every day they pushing me. Larry tell me he got plans for me.
Hopkins has plans, too, to start his own business, while Wade has another idea for improving these streets.
I always wanted to be a police officer. I want to show that you can grow up in this area and still make it out and be somebody.
All possible because one loving couple cared.
What have they done for you?
A lot.
I give them a lot of the credit.
A lot of the credit.
While they credit each other.
What is it that drives you to keep going?
Larry, no.
And a belief that what they've done here is part of something much bigger.
We're not the beginning.
You're a link in a chain.
We will not be the end. And
Absolutely.
so I am so grateful
Oh, yeah.
to you.
Chip Reed in Milwaukee.
More local news now. Disability Pride Fest is happening this weekend at Tenney Park. City leaders are gathering information to learn what needs to be done to make downtown Madison more accessible. According to a survey of more than 90 community members, 63% of respondents indicated they had experienced mobility barriers in the downtown area. That includes things like crosswalks not allowing enough time to cross the street.
We realize that we need to take steps to hold the individuals who hold festivals in our city accountable for accessibility. Those are citywide events. They should be inclusive to everyone.
The Access Downtown Madison presentation starts at 1 o'clock today. Well, looking for something to do this weekend? We've got you covered. From a major blockbuster starring a local actor to several area fairs and festivals drawing big crowds and open to people of all ages and abilities. Your Weekend 608 is next on News 3 Now this morning. Welcome back. It's the weekend in the 608.
And here's a look at what's going on in the area.
Let's start with a major releasing blockbuster starring a local actor. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the 9th movie directed by Quentin Tarantino. Besides movie stars as huge as Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio and Al Pacino, the film, set in 1969 Los Angeles, also includes a part played by Madison area actor and Taekwondo instructor Mike Moe. The owner of Moe's martial arts studio in Wanakee portrays Bruce Lee, his childhood hero in the film, as Lee Moe fights Brad Pitt's character in what RogerEbert.com described as, quote, one of the film's most crowd-pleasing scenes.
And if you're looking for something to do outdoors, head to Atwood Fest. This is an annual favorite, apparently. Now, it's happening both today and tomorrow on several blocks of Atwood Avenue. It'll feature food, beer stands, arts and crafts vendors, and a kids area. There will also be music, lots of it. You'll have 25 bands on 3 stages. Even the kids area alone will have live entertainment, including DJs, improv comedy, and they promise bubbles.
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 All the reason to go. That's all I needed to hear. Well, just east of Madison is the Midwest Fire Fest, a celebration of all things created with fire, heat, and smoke. It's a maker's fair of sorts featuring demonstrations of wielding and forging by some of the 23 fire-based artists on site. A community iron pour, fire dancers, and smoking hot music from 7 bands. And in Madison's Tenny Park later today is the Disability Pride Festival. More than 50 exhibitors and performers will be there raising awareness for access issues disabled people face every day.
Now, this one is sometimes a tongue twister, but Travis Tritt is making headlines right now. This Grammy Award-winning star has had hit songs for 30 years, 40 songs on the country music charts, including 5 #1 songs, Foolish Pride and Best of Intentions being 2 of them. He's had 2 Grammys and 4 country music awards to make him one of the most decorated mainstream country music stars to come up in the late 1980s and 90s. You can see Travis Tritt at the Sylvie later on tonight.
Are you a big country music fan?
Sometimes. It depends on who the artist is.
I feel the same way. Well, as always, you can get this month's Madison magazine for all of the best Madison area has to offer.
All right. Well, one more thing. Of course, people want to know the forecast for the weekend. You're looking live over the Capitol right now. A little bit hazy out there, but I'll have your full forecast next on News 3 Now.
And first, let's take a look at who is turning 3 today. Happy birthday, Dalton.
Happy weekend, folks. It is Saturday and things are starting off on a very warm note here in south central Wisconsin. A lot of these temperatures already into the mid and even upper 70s. Madison at 75. Those winds coming strong out of the south and west at 8 to 10 miles per hour, depending on where you are. Boscobel is at 76. Then we look back towards the lake shore. A lot of those temperatures are very warm as well. Kenosha, Sheboygan, Manitowoc, all at 76. Even MKE at 75 degrees right now. Expect temperatures to continue to increase as we go throughout the day, especially with that strong southerly wind. That's bringing in the higher dew points too. Check out the dew point towards Mineral Point and Platteville. Those are in the upper 60s and low 70s. So as you step outside, folks, be prepared for the humidity. That is going to be with us all day. In the meantime, there are no showers and thunderstorms over the state of Wisconsin. A few isolated cells throughout parts of eastern Iowa. What we're going to be focusing on is the northern part of the state today. I suspect anywhere between Green Bay and Eau Claire, we'll start to see some storms trying to develop later on this afternoon and evening. Those will then push towards the south. As they do so, they'll run into an environment that's just a little bit unstable. So we have that marginal risk for some severe thunderstorms from about Green Bay down throughout northern Illinois. We'll watch that through the afternoon. Not everyone will get in on the severe shower and thunderstorm activity. A cold front throughout the land of 10,000 lakes is slowly pushing towards the south and east. That's what's working to keep our weather pattern a little bit unsettled. So here's that week's chance for showers and storms tonight. The better chance for showers and thunderstorms is actually going to be more so Sunday night and into Monday throughout the state as the actual cold front begins to work its way towards us. High pressure then takes over behind that, so that'll be a nice welcome change early on next week. This afternoon, here we are at 12:30. Those temperatures will be right around 83. We'll top out at 87. You see the showers and thunderstorms developing towards the north and working their way towards the south. They're splotchy, they're quick moving. Not everyone will get wet today. The winds will be out of the south for tomorrow morning as well, and then that chance for showers and thunderstorms will exist into the early afternoon, but I think the heavier rain is going to be overnight into the day on Monday. That's where we'll see that greatest shower and thunderstorm activity. But folks, we're cooling down behind that. As the cold front comes on through here, Monday we'll see those highs in the mid 80s. Tuesday we'll struggle to get out of the 70s. I think we will get out of the 70s by a degree or two, but we'll struggle to get out of the 70s on Tuesday and pretty much all of next week. The humidity is going to be lower. I know you're sad about that.
I like the humidity. I
really
know
happy.
you're very happy. So I'm happy, Chris, that you're so happy.
Oh, thanks, Keely. We'll trade.
We trade. Last week, I liked that. So
that was good, yeah.
We'll see what's in store
All
the week
right.
ahead. All right. Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
Well, what does your morning look like? We've been asking you to share it with us, and this is from Gwen. Check out these gorgeous flowers. Thanks so much for sharing, Gwen. And as always, you can take a picture and post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page or on our Twitter using the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll share our favorites right here on our show. Tomorrow morning on News 3 Now This Morning Sunday, it's almost moving season for thousands of college students and their families, but that often comes with a challenge: really hot weather. We're talking to moving experts about how to keep yourself and your belongings cool during that move. But first, this morning, taking a seat at the table, the neighborhood program bringing together a wide range of people from all walks of life for a good old-fashioned potluck. We'll be right back. Finally this morning, our series, A More Perfect Union, aims to show that what unites us as Americans is far greater than what divides us. Today, we take you across the Hudson River from New York City to join dozens of neighbors for a home-cooked meal.
Each month, people in Hoboken, New Jersey gather with family and friends for a good old-fashioned potluck dinner. Don Daler has got a seat at the table, and he takes us with him.
What are you making?
I'm making yellow rice and beans.
Hoboken resident Ramona Braxton is doing her part to cook dinner for 100 or so of her neighbors.
Because everybody that goes to the community dinner always asks my mom if I can make it for them.
Oh, it's a favorite.
So it's a favorite.
On the second Monday of each month, folks from this neighborhood and beyond have gathered to share a meal. It started 2 years ago as a way to help heal after a tragic shooting. But after finding comfort in food and community with the dinners, they decided to keep up the tradition. Arlette Braxton, Ramona's mom, has been volunteering her time and her daughters since the beginning.
And there was a young lady at first that was running it, Julia. She just wanted the community to get together. And so I said, well, that sounds good. You know what? I'll hang in there. I'll do this, you know. And from that moment on, I've been stuck. The only time I haven't...
You've been stuck.
Yeah.
Stuck along with John Milius.
I didn't cut it straight. You're right, Arlette. Everything Arlette says is right. I'm always wrong.
She told us that, actually. That's what she told us.
Oh, my gosh.
He lives across the street from the public housing building where the dinners are served and has become one of the coordinators.
I love the idea of getting to know new people and just kind of building relationships with them. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's the idea of like creating family.
And Milius and his fellow hosts have created quite a family.
So make sure that you introduce yourself to somebody that maybe you haven't met before.
Regular guests include local politicians, business leaders, and members of the Hoboken Police Department.
You're here on your own time. Right. I'm here because I love this town. I grew up here. This is the people that we serve, so that's why we come down.
Yeah. The food's pretty good, too.
It's delicious.
So if the food is what attracts people, is the conversation what keeps them here?
I would like to think so, yeah. I mean, food's a really important factor. But I think the idea of breaking down barriers and creating bonds with people is something that keeps people always coming back.
Great energy, very positive people. I'm glad I was invited.
What do you think? Is it the food or is it meeting the people who live around you? What's the best part? Both?
Mostly the food.
I like your honesty. That's great.
The dinner has been so well received among the community that locals tell us sometimes they're standing room only. Now, the local high school has also started hosting community meals as well. And Chris, I think you should start hosting community meals here at the station.
We were just talking about that. I have a lot of stuff for tacos left over, so maybe. We'll see.
I'll hold you to it.
I would do it. I would cook for the station. All right, let's look at the forecast before we head on out for the day. Temperatures will warm up very nicely as we go throughout the afternoon. We're looking at highs into the upper 80s. I wouldn't be surprised if a few folks hit the 90-degree mark today just because we are already starting off on such a warm note. We'll see a chance for those showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, a better chance for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow night into Monday, but then early next week. It's fantastic, folks. Before I forget, here's your pet walk. I know, in the weeds if you're walking your dog. I know. If you're walking your dog later, it'll be comfortable, but there'll be a chance for some showers and storms as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you right here tomorrow at 6:30.